Hello, Ray Phoenix here. Welcome to Let's Play Batman Returns for the SNES Part 2, Battle in the Streets of Gotham. We're finally at the second level of the game. And it looks like we're in some sort of, I think this might be the subway or some sort of sewer place. And we're in the streets of Gotham City. I guess these are the streets of Gotham City. That's why this level will be called the Streets of Gotham City. We're doing more of what we did in the first level. We're fighting off about legions of these evil killer clowns that are plaguing the streets of Gotham City with crime. And we're pretty much being the exterminator as trying to exterminate all these criminals. That's like that joke from I read somewhere where these two girls, one of them dressed as Batman for Halloween, the younger one dressed as Robin, and then they went trick-or-treating, and then some neighbor said, which one's the rat and which one's the exterminator? Well, that's kind of our flying rat. I think someone in the 1989 movie described Batman as being some kind of flying rat when people didn't really know much about who Batman was. Why don't you just wake up one-shot these biker clowns just by throwing a batarang at them and they get destroyed instantly in one hit? It's kind of hard to hit, though, because you have to, a lot of it's precise damage. They're not really that strong, but you can jump and kick them. That doesn't seem to really do much. Jumping and kicking your enemies doesn't seem to really do much. You can pick up those things at bonus 1,000. And this game was also one of the many reasons why I've been obsessed with Batman so much over the years. I haven't really read very many Batman comics. I've read a lot of Marvel comics during my time, but I haven't really read as many Batman comics. I had a book filled with Batman comics though that I got in Windham when I lived in Windham, Western Australia for a bit. That I bought the Windham post office, or I went to pick up the phone that I'm using right now to record this commentary with. And it had Batman comics from the 80s and there's from the 2000s in there too. And I remember that comic book and pretty good stuff. I'm actually quite surprised I haven't read as many Batman comics considering how many there are and they've been around for a long time. Months ago I read some of the very first ones where there was what some people would call campy, I think, where it seems kind of comical and whimsical almost, where it's at least some bat guy dressed as a bat that just hangs around in the city and fights off crime. My mom kept making fun of how dumb a lot of the plot points. I said, yeah, you really think they're how could they have known that was going to be there at that time? Kind of thing. I don't really remember a lot of it, but I do remember reading it though. And someone even made a serial about a black and white film serial of it in 2015 or so. It was supposed to be a homage to 1940s Batman serials. I only watched the first episode of that. I still haven't seen the other episodes. In about a decade from now, Batman's going to enter the public domain, and oh boy, there's probably going to be a lot of pub stuff that's going to be made. The public domain community is going to really have a field day when Batman finally enters the public domain. I'm Batman. Sometimes I always play this game a lot of time, wanting to be Batman, running around being like, no, Batman. It'd be more fun if they put pow, wham, thwack, and stuff like that on the screen. I think they want to make this game very accurate to the movie, which again, this game's kind of the opposite of the NES Batman game from 1989, because that game wasn't accurate to the movie at all. And there was a Sega Genesis version of the 1989 Batman movie game that actually was a lot more accurate to the movie. Where it actually involves going to an art gallery and going to the different buildings, stuff that I actually saw in the movie. Now we're going to another 2D segment where we're pretty much going to be playing Donkey Kong and riding this escalator. I think this is supposed to be at Max Shrek's department store because Max Shrek ran a department store. And from what I've read, Max Shrek wasn't in any of the comics. He was a new character that they made up for this game, or not this game, the movie this game is based on. Because pretty much all the characters in this game are characters from the movie. I'm not even sure how popular the movie was. I know the 1989 Batman movie was a critical success. Everyone loved it. It made a big deal how it came out on VHS for only 4 months after the movie was out in theaters. But for Batman Returns, I don't know if Batman Returns got as much publicity or as much. Some people were even unaware it was in movies. Whoa, you mean Michael Keaton played Batman in more than one movie? I didn't even know he was in that many movies. I showed this game to someone a long time ago. They had no idea Batman Returns was a movie and that this was a movie-based game. But the people that made this game actually did, they definitely did. A lot of care and attention was well put in this game. This game does look really realistic for a SNES game. And I said that a lot in the first video, but I like to see how, they really did put a lot of effort. That does show a lot that this game, is for sure a great game. Konami was, the best at making the Batman video games. I just wish they made more Batman video games. Konami's an awesome company. It gave us so many awesome hit games. They even gave us Rocket Knight Adventures, which was on the Genesis. I still haven't done a Let's Play of that. Yeah, that's because I just beat that game on easy mode many months ago. And I've never beaten that game on normal yet, because the game is pretty challenging on normal. Even on hard mode, the game is pretty challenging, where you have health, but health is kind of redundant, so you get hit once, you're dead. Imagine what this game would have been like if you got hit, if you got killed from just getting hit once or lightly dinged once and you're dead. Now look, they have the frickin' sword clowns out. Those actually were in the movie too. Remember there were clowns that were jumped around and had swords. I actually saw that movie not too long ago. I'm pretty familiar with these Batman movies. I watch Batman movies all the time. That's because I'm obsessed with Batman. I watch Batman movies all the time and play Batman games, and I just go up to random people and say, well, I'm Batman. I could have appeared on that show totally obsessed because of my obsession with Batman. Yet I haven't even read much of the comics. I really need to read more Batman comics. Anyways, I do see them at stores quite a bit. I remember seeing the comic book adaptation of the 1989 Batman movie at a bookstore I went to like a year ago or so. I didn't buy it obviously because I only have limited space for certain comics. We tell this game supposed to be set around Christmas time, so I see Christmas decorations everywhere. It's clearly winter time, and Gotham City is clearly not set anywhere tropical. But the 1943 Batman serial was set in LA, so I guess that version of Gotham City was set somewhere tropical. And these clowns, some clowns have dynamite too. There actually is a trick you could to easily kill the dynamite clowns. Just punch them when they have or throw a batarang at them. They'll drop the dynamite and they'll stay in place, and they're too dumb enough to think to move, and they're just going to explode on them and pretty much kill them instantly. Getting blown up by dynamite in the city. But these clowns must be pretty elaborate crime lords if they could have all this technology. They have freaking bazookas and swords. They seem to have an army of them that could easily take over our city. Imagine what that would be like if clown syndicates like this existed in real life and they could just, take our cities or for our cities. Or maybe they're like soldiers for hire. Yeah, don't pay soldiers for hire. Pay clowns. Clowns do a good, awesome job at terrorizing people and making people obey your commands. The only person that can possibly stop them is the Batman. No one else other than Batman can stop these evil clowns that are shooting stuff. Konami is such a great company for making this game. This game's the reason why I like Konami so much. This and Frogger, I think, are the reasons why I really think Konami's one of the greatest companies ever. But I wish Konami could have made the Batman Forever video game. There's a video game based on the next movie, Batman Forever, and oh boy, that game's a piece of crap. That's one of the worst. This game, Batman Returns, the Batman Forever game on the SNES, they're like exact opposites of each other. They're polar opposites of each other. This game is like a complete total masterpiece, while the other one's a complete total piece of crap. Batman Forever plays like Mortal Kombat, and it's like a 2D game. It's like Mortal Kombat. It's hard to figure out what all the controls are. It's like they didn't know how to, like people made that game didn't know how to SNES or Genesis controller worked. There was also a Star Wars game that was like that too. Star Wars Episode 2 video game was also kind of like that for the Game Boy Advance. That's probably why some reviewer I saw said he didn't acknowledge it as being the real video game for Star Wars Episode 2. But considering how crappy it was, I can see why that he thinks that. So here's another guy that I don't really remember much from the movie, never boss. It's not really, I don't think, anything from the movie. It's the Strongman, T Strongman. What could T stand for? Tyrone, maybe? Tyrone Strongman, Tommy Strongman, Tammy Strongman, Tammy something Strongman. And like Batman can just pick him up and just throw him down there easy. And Batman really does have a lot of moves in this game. He can pick up two clowns and crack and smack their skulls into each other. Batman is a badass in this game. Not as badass as he is the purple Batman from the 1989 NES Batman game, but he's still pretty, and the shading too, the shading is really impressive too of this game. And this game, they actually got a real accurate looking Batman to be in this game, so he's not just some purple copy clone of Batman, okay, this is the same more stuff that he's trying to ruin Batman's reputation now because he wants to be the mayor. If he's going to become the mayor of anything, he's going to be the mayor of Crazy Town, if anything. Gotham City kind of is kind of similar to Crazy Town in a lot of ways. He's the mayor of Crazy Town. Some people that don't know Batman very well I came across in real life used to think he lived in New York City or somewhere like that. And some of the very early Batman comics, he actually did live in New York City. And some of them even said he lived in a city called Metropolis. I don't think they really established yet where Batman was really supposed to live. Oh look, it's the Batman on the prowl. Yeah, this is probably the worst level in the game. Most of this whole level is just a 2D side-scrolling platformer. You know how much I love those segments, right? And then at the end, we have to deal with the worst boss in the entire game. Yeah, this gave us the hardest boss in the game right at the beginning. It's kind of like what Philosoma did, where it was where they give you the hardest boss very early in the game to really play with you and mess with you pretty much and make you think, this game's gonna be hard. And then once you beat that, the rest of the game goes by like it's nothing after that. The rest of the game is actually pretty easy. I had difficulty figuring out this. When I first played this game, I didn't have a controller yet. I played this on an emulator, as I've said in the last video. I didn't have a controller yet, so I just had to play with the keyboard. I had no idea how the keys were mapped. I'd often mess up at these parts. That's part of the reason why I would set the game for 7 lives, because most of them would get blown away by me just not figuring out how to use the grapple hook or whatever it is. I mean, with a controller, it's pretty easy. With a keyboard, playing a game like this on a keyboard is pain. I did that in Australia since I didn't have a game controller with me. And I actually did manage to figure it out pretty well, but back in the day, and I play this on my keyboard, that's complete total pain. Playing games like this on a keyboard would be worse if I was to play N64 games on a keyboard. I don't even want to think about that. SNES does have a pretty complex controller compared to the original NES controller, or even the Genesis controllers. It's quite complex compared to those. It's considered to be like the prototype, I think, of the PS1 controller, because the PS1 controller very much is similar to the SNES controller. It's such a great controller. Of course, people are going to copy it. Pretty much every game controller nowadays kind of has that layout design. I guess all the other companies finally figured out, yeah, it's the only design that could realistically work, like only viable, realistic design that could possibly be used for a controller. I mean, there's only so many designs that could possibly exist, and most of the time, most default control schemes for emulators usually default to the Z key as jump and the X key like an attack button, or be mapped to some similar controls. It looks like one of those weird games where the B button is jump and the A button is fire, like what AVGN complains about a lot. Like every game knows that A button's supposed to be jump and B button's supposed to be attack. I'm not sure if the AVGN, or I think the AVGN may have reviewed this game. If he did review Batman games once, had a special on that where he dressed as Batman and played a bunch of Batman games. But this is one of the better ones. I don't think you did much about this one, because this is a really good game, as I keep saying. It's actually one of the best Batman games. This part looks weird too, just seeing Batman just go with his... Sometimes there's like little goodies you can get if you're like really skilled, but I don't want to take the risk. And oh boy, here's the worst boss in the entire game. I am Catwoman, hear me roar. At least they got it accurate to the movie I'm making, or say an actual quote from the movie. Pretty much all the quotes in this game are actually quotes from the movie. I'm Catwoman, hear me roar. Batman Returns was a pretty weird movie the more I think of it as. Maybe it was just Tim Burton being Tim Burton. You know, Tim Burton's known for making weird movies, and these were Tim Burton movies, so he probably did make it like an odd movie, so it corresponds to what we expect from Tim Burton. Actually, eventually, I just more recently learned the real tactic to fighting Catwoman in this part. You just press the jump button and the punch button. It makes Batman do that thing with his cape, a swishy thing with his cape. And the best part, sure, it does take away your health by doing that, but the best part is, it's like those law firms that advertise that, oh, if we don't win your case, you don't have to pay us anything. That's what this is like. If it doesn't make contact with any enemies, you just do one of those things and it doesn't hit any of the enemies, and it doesn't remove any of your health. Like, you see I was doing it there and I wasn't losing health. It only takes away health if you actually hit someone with it. It actually does do a pretty decent amount of damage against Catwoman, and Catwoman by all means the worst boss game. I remember like just a few months ago I was playing this game and I would usually get game overs at this part, and I've been thinking, oh, my run is doomed. I'm not going to complete the game on this run. And some people even do this weird speed running tactic that I saw. I have no idea how it works. It's like you stand in front of Catwoman, you have to like carefully time your punches, so you continually keep punching her like choo 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 choo. We keep punching her like all in a... I mean, I did something like that with Streets of Rage 2 and the Genesis that actually does work. That's pretty easy to pull off in that game. I never figured out how to pull it off in this game. Someone said it was a weird... I think it involves like pressing the directional button of it too. So I don't know. I've been playing this game for years and I never figured out how to do that. Saved by Kitty Litter. Yeah, what else is going to be saved by? She's a cat. The Penguin and Catwoman form a diabolical plan to trap the Batman. Ooh, I wonder what this plan could be. We need to talk. Doesn't show what they're going to be talking about, so we have no idea what their plan is. Is it going to be something good? Is it finally going to capture Batman? We'll find out. Same bat time, same bat channel.